that is
Well, it's over.
third round stoppage for Alan El Rey Picasso.
I apologize if y'all hear an echo.
Undefeated streak and get.
Didn't put my head set on. Anyway, busy weekend for the 122-pound division. WBC mandatory Alan Picasso, that's him right there, for 122 undisputed champion Inoue. There you go. I'm always butchering his name no matter how many years I've been covering this man. I probably, I'll get it right one day. Anyway, earlier today, Marjan Akhmadaliev, WBA mandatory, won against, who did he fight? My goodness. I didn't see this fight yet, by the way. I'm catching up. It is 11:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, December the 14th. So I had a nap earlier, and I'm catching up on multiple cards right now. For example, I just finished the Natasha Jonas, Ivana Hopazin card, and you got this Jaime Munguia card, this one right here, which is featuring Picasso in the co-feature. Earlier today, you had Marjan Akhmadaliev versus Ricardo Espinoza, and you have Alex Rocha versus Curiel on, and also UFC, Buckley Covington. So it's a busy night of combat sports. But anyway, moving on. He won earlier today. He had a shot to get Inoue, but guess who got it? Marlon Tapales. So he's talking about he's being ducked and was ducked. And it's like, bro, if you would have won this fight, you would have got your shot. So for those who don't know, I'm going to have my colleague from Australia, Big J, chime in. We're waiting to hear the post-fight interview from him, by the way. Big J chime in on Sam Goodman, who was supposed to fight Inoue, the IBF mandatory, if I'm correct. Which one was Goodman? I think Goodman was WBO. Or he would have been WBC, but I think he was WBO. Picasso, the reason why he's important, because he's being linked to Inoue after Goodman. If Inoue doesn't fight Junto Nakatani, the fight that all the fans want. So I know I'm kind of all over the place, but follow me. So as it stands right now, Inoue fights good. It's looking like it would be Inoue versus Goodman, Inoue versus Picasso, and then maybe Inoue versus Marjan Akhmadaliev. If Junto Nakatani doesn't take the place of, in another reality, it could be Inoue versus, damn it, I'm fucking confused myself. Inoue, by the way, here with him beating up on this guy right here. So this is on the Jaime Munguia card on ESPN Plus. That's the shot that ended the fight. So, okay, so Inoue versus Goodman sometime in January. That's my ring bell. That was my ring doorbell. My bad. In January, because it was supposed to happen on Christmas Eve in Japan, but it would have been broadcast Christmas Eve here in the States, December 24th. But Goodman got cut. After Goodman in January, if it's not Nakatani, and it would involve probably some type of step-asides or whatever, it's looking like it's going to be Alan Picasso, because it looks like that's the fight that Top Rank is angling for. And Inoue is co-promoted by Top Rank and promoted here in the States by Top Rank. And then Marjan Akhmadaliev. So in reality, he may not see Inoue Akhmadaliev until, 2026. To be very honest. So he can bitch and moan all he wants, but he had his shot. And guess what? It would have been an undisputed fight, but he lost. Somebody let me know. I don't believe I covered this card. Oh, well, let's listen to the particulars. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
And round number 3 with a time of 1 minute 55 seconds in round number 3. The referee reaches the count of 10. He is the winner by way of knockout. El ganador por knockout, David Rey.
I'm not sold.
Picasso.
I haven't seen enough yet.
So a full 10 count, and it's a win by knockout for Alan Picasso, who is now 31-0-1 as a professional with 17 knockouts. And probably more importantly for him, besides getting the win, is getting out of this fight unscathed.
Yes, and you got to perform. And even
That's the shot.
Look Nakatani here. You can.
That's the shot that ended the fight. So, by the way, you know, I listen. You know, like, is it the hype around this kid? 30-0-1 with 16 KOs. That 24 years old is concerning. He's green. Going in there against a monster. I can't, you know, I can't say it. I mean, obviously, well, I really don't identify as a Chicano anymore. So, you know, new administration with Trump now in office. So for those who don't know, the last several years, I've been identifying as half black, half Irish, and half full-blooded Chicano Mexican. But over the last several weeks, I got a little bit of time to think about it, and I'm just going to go by Afro-Latino X now. So that's my pronoun, so respect them. But, you know, what I'm saying is, what I was going to say is, of course, I want all my Hispanic brothers to, you know, succeed. My Chicano, well, my Mexican brothers, he's full blood. My Mexican brothers to succeed. But at the same time, I'm not seeing nothing, you know? I mean, look, he's hella active. That can be a gift and a curse, I guess. You know, but, you know, okay, it's December. If he was to fight Inoue, look, here he is. They already talking about it. Top Rank selling it. That's telling you right there. That's who they want. They selling it.
With, you know, uber talent, then he can just show up and get the job done. He's a timing guy. He's a rhythm guy. He's got to fight at a distance. He's got to be smart. So those kind of guys, they need sparring more than anybody. They need to be busy more than other guys.
Picasso gonna get his ass painted on the canvas. That's for sure. I guess no pun intended. But by the way, here's the Sam Goodman who got cut. Sam Goodman gonna get cooked. Hey, listen, I don't want to write Sam Goodman out, but there's a high chance he gonna get his fucking shit pushed in, man. You know, no disrespect to him, but it's not looking good. This dude ain't no joke. I remember it was Office Honcho Editing. This was back in like 2013. He was telling me to look out for this dude. No bullshit. 10 years ago. He's like, yo, you got to start watching. Where did I come in at? I came in 2016. I covered this fight somewhere. This is where I came in at. And I've been here ever since. But dude ain't no joke. I mean, yeah, he got his face broken by old man Donaire in the World Boxing Super Series. But dude ain't no joke. And we know he can be dropped. That's for sure. So for me, like I said, it's looking like it's going to be Inoue versus Goodman. Then Inoue versus Picasso. I'm going to say May. Let me see. What's his schedule usually like? Usually the Japanese keep the same schedule. So I can see Picasso in May. They may do it in Vegas, or it's going to be in the States from my understanding, or they're going to be angling for it to be in the States in May. And then Nakatani in Japan in December, because they love doing New Year's or, you know, Christmas week fights in December. And then Marjan Akhmadaliev. So take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. We're going to get my colleague Big J on the line next and talk about the fight. Or talk about Sam Goodman, actually. All right, so we got my colleague Big J on the line. And just a couple of days ago, in fact, I'm going to pull this clip up right here for you on the screen. You'll see that Sam Goodman, who was supposed to fight Inoue on Christmas Eve this year here in the States, suffered a cut in sparring. So, you know, sucks for that to happen. But my concern is how, you know, okay, so he's supposed to fight on December the 24th. This cut happened a few days ago. It is
it happened yesterday.
Oh, yesterday, excuse me. It happened yesterday. It's December the 15th. He's going to be back in the ring in what, 5 weeks, about 6 weeks or so. Even though it looks like a small cut, still, you know, it could affect the fight in so many different ways. So first, I'm going to go ahead and say no disrespect to Sam Goodman. What is he, 19-0 with 8 KOs? Yeah, 19-0 with 8 KOs, 26 years old. I don't see anything on his resume that, okay, yeah, he did get what was considered an upset at the time over Rais Aleem, but I don't see anything on this resume that's going to even give me, hope that he's going to stand a chance against Inoue, let alone go past 5 rounds. What are your thoughts on the fight before we talk about the rest of the division?
Well, I mean, we already predicted that pretty much Sam Goodman's death warrant has already been signed. And now this cut, which was apparently, I've heard more than one report, was caused by a punch, not a head clash. So the second Inoue focuses on that, it's just going to bust him up even further. And now his chances go from 10% of victory down to 5. So it's not going to be good for Sam. I mean, he's pretty much just going to walk in there, be cut and fodder for Inoue, get destroyed, and that'll be the end of him. So, I mean, I want to be wrong, but the Aussies have not had a good year in world title fights this year. I mean, everyone's been beaten, knocked out badly. So, I mean, Zarafa got pummeled. Tim Tszyu got the living piss kicked out of him. Paro lost, what was it, last week that he lost?
Yeah.
So it has not been a good year for world title fights for Australia. Well, for those three. I mean, you still got Jai's 2-0, Sky's 3-0. So, Kambosa's got knocked out as well by Lomachenko. So we're not winning the big fights. So I don't see. I think this is it's just delaying the inevitable. I mean, Sam is just going to get destroyed when he gets in there. So, I mean, I don't take any joy in saying that. It's just the way I see it happening. So,
yeah. What do you think about? What did you?
Go ahead.
If you didn't get a chance to see, Marjan Akhmadaliev got a stoppage earlier today in 3 rounds against basically in a Stay Busy showcase fight against Ricardo Espinosa. He's the WBA interim champion, and he's lobbying to be the next mandatory for Inoue. But the problem is, and I want your thoughts on this, he's claiming that Inoue ducked him, even though he lost to Marlon Tapales in April of last year, who went on to fight for Undisputed against Inoue.
Oh, bullshit. Inoue doesn't duck anybody. I mean, to his credit, Inoue is one of those fighters that actually becomes undisputed and then defends his belts. Most of them get undisputed and then piss off the second they clean this. They, like Crawford. Crawford and, Canelo and Inoue are the only guys that become undisputed and then actually defend their belts. Crawford does and then pisses off to the next division. So you got to give them credit that they stick around, defend their belts. And the reason, we all know why Inoue sticking around, because he can get that super fight against Jinto Nakatani probably this time next year.
Yeah, and that's the way it's looking. So as I explained earlier in the video, the timeline is looking like it's going to be Sam Goodman, January the 24th. Then I'm going to guess around between, April and May, likely around May. We're going to see if they don't kind of squeeze Nakatani in then, which I doubt, but we're going to see Alan Picasso, then Mexican fighter that's supposed to be taking place here in the States. The reason why I say Mexican, he's a Mexican fighter because it's more marketability, a more marketable fight than the Marjan Akhmadaliev fight. And then, of course, the Japanese love having fights at the very last week of the year. In this case, Sam Goodman was supposed to fight Inoue on Christmas Eve. That would have been broadcast Christmas Eve here in the States. And they often have fights going into the new year. So that's what I'm thinking the Jinto Nakatani fight is going to happen unless the Saudis really try to push that and have it in September. But the only place that fight really makes sense is in Japan. That's a fight that should take place in Japan. And the point I'm trying to make is Akhmadaliev is probably not going to get his shot, as I said earlier in the video, until 2026. It's like what's there. And as you can see what Inoue posted on his Twitter page, he says, "Why do I have to run from someone who lost to the Tapales? There's never need for it. If you want to fight, keep the value of winning and wait. Now I'm fully focused on the Goodman fight." That's what he posted.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. But here's the thing I don't understand. Why would they, because Sam Goodman's going to happen on 24, why not make the Jinto Nakatani fight next? Because the longer they do it, like say, for example, if Jinto Nakatani loses, the Inoue fight loses its niche.
And that's true. I said that also earlier in the video. They can slide that in next. But boxing.
I think they will because I think Inoue is probably like, yep, I've cleaned out the division. I've defended a couple of times. There's nothing really left for him at 122. He's only hanging around to fight the Jinto Nakatani fight. When he does that, then he'll go up to 126. So why make him fight another nothing mandatory? He'll probably kick the living piss out of inside of 5 rounds. So I mean,
yeah, but you know, boxing, they like to over marinate. You know, and the way Top Rank is, you know, they're promoting the fight already right now tonight on their broadcast. Inoue versus Alan Picasso. You know, so you know, so yeah, you know, I don't see and that's why pretty much Picasso was getting showcased, you know, on this card, you know, to try to sell the Inoue fight. They've been talking about it all night. So, you know,
but Inoue is going to get sellouts in Japan anyway.
Anyway,
he's fighting old mate in the States, isn't he?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fighting in the States. Yep.
Okay, well that makes sense because in Japan it's a no-brainer. He'll get 60,000 every time. So,
but yeah, as far as Nakatani,
in Japan,
what you saying?
I don't know why they just don't make him fight in Japan. I mean, there's no need for him to go to the bloody States. He gets 60,000 people. He's pretty much treated like a god over there.
Yeah.
Why come to the States?
I think it's because of Top Rank. They're not the primary promoter globally, but so they're the, how can I say, the best way I can say it is they're the joint promoter when Inoue fights in Japan or in that area, in that area, in the Asian area. But they're the broadcast and main promoter here in the States. So basically, the way I'm guessing the deal works is Inoue needs to fight at least once every year or every other year here in the States to fulfill his deal with Top Rank for them broadcasting him here in the States.
Okay, that makes, if it's a contract.
Yeah, it's something like that. I'm not saying word for word, but it's something along those lines, like regarding broadcasting.
If it's a contractual obligation, then that makes perfect sense. I mean, personally, if I was Bob, I'd be like, he doesn't need to come into the States.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure, but also, you know, and then over Bob is the network ESPN. So, you know, it's probably them like, hey, you know, he's got to give us a fight.
Yeah, well, fair enough. And those lads will live up to those obligations. They don't kick around. So
yeah, and also we're waiting to see what Nakatani is going to do. I don't remember. I covered his last fight, but I don't remember if he's planning on staying in the division to unify or become undisputed, then move up.
Isn't he going to unify against old mate? What belts does he have?
Here's the WBC.
Isn't he going to unify against? No, isn't he going to unify against the WBO bloke? The kickboxer that beat Maloney.
Yeah, that's what they were talking. Yes, WBO, that's what they were talking.
Japan pretty much owns 122 and 118 because all the champions of 118 are all Japanese fighters.
So who knows? That could be the plan to have hopefully Nakatani sweep out the 118-pound division by time he faces Inoue, so you can have 2 undisputed champions in Japan.
That makes perfect sense.
Which is why, you know, it would answer the question that you had of why not make it next. But, you know, once again, both of these fighters can lose. And, you know, boxing likes to over-marinate.
Yeah, well, they really shouldn't. But do you really see Inoue or Nakatani losing? I mean, those boys are just going to kick the shit out if anyone comes anywhere near them.
Especially not Inoue. Nah. Not in that division.
I mean, Nakatani, his chances of losing are pretty slim as well. I mean, he's destroying pretty much everyone that comes in his path. Yeah. He's not just beating them. He's leveling these guys. He's knocking them the fuck out. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think there's any threat to those two boys. But once again, you don't want to over-marinate it because, if someone loses, then it loses its edge. So. We've all got the Floyd Mayweather mentality these days of once they lose, everyone thinks they're done, which is bullshit. Boxing's got to get past that. Bloody hell.
And the boxers got to get past it as well because they take a loss. They feel that they're done. They start going drinking and doing drugs and, you know, they start mentally collapsing. They lose these days.
Yeah, I mean, UFC fighters can lose 5 fights and still have great
For real.
So boxers need to pull their finger out of their ass, stop bitching over one loss and move on.
Yeah, because I forgot who had some issues recently. a boxer, took his first loss. I can't think of it. Took his first loss, and then all of a sudden having all these issues. They be having mental breakdowns and having to go to a sports psychologist.
They can't handle losing.
Yeah.
And I blame Floyd for that. So that's all bloody Floyd's fault, because, the biggest, Devin Haney, he bloody fell off the friggin' rails. That was the one. I don't think he's been drinking and stuff, but he's acting the fool with this court case and all this silly crap.
And then look at Ryan Garcia. Like these fighters take a loss and they just, go over the deep end.
Bloody, it's like they've had their limb cut off or something. Tell them hard enough fuck. Take a spirit of concrete and hard enough fuck up.
All right, closing thoughts. How do you think Inoue Goodman plays out January 24th?
Oh, shit. What do we say? If he lasts 6 rounds, it'll be a bloody miracle.
Yeah.
Although Inoue has been a little bit slowish of late, because Paul Butler ran for him for like 11 rounds, so he finally caught up to him and knocked him out in 11 rounds. TJ Doherty, it took him 7 rounds to get him out of there when he should have knocked him out.
Yeah, Neary dropped him.
Yeah, Neary dropped him. So, although I don't see Sam winning, let's give Sam some credit and say, give him a solid 8 to 10 rounds before Inoue finishes him off. Let's give him at least that amount of respect. And if we say he's going to get destroyed in 3, that's sinking the boots in. So
I don't know, but what have we seen? I mean, he getting cut up with headgear on in sparring. I got the video,
Yeah, I know. I mean,
and then he's going in off of a fresh cut.
And he's never been hit like Inoue's going to hit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to give him. I'm going to cut him some slack. I say 8-10 rounds for Inoue.
I'm going 6. I'm going under 6.
I'm being generous. So, because I don't want to see the poor kid get destroyed.
Yeah.
But, we all know it's going to happen. So.
Well, with that being said, take your time out, like the video, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at TstreeT Controversy and Big J at Old Mate Big J. We're going to be here covering Inoue versus Goodman. So stay tuned, and more Australian boxing news coming. Thanks for watching.